Hello and welcome to Last Week in AWS. I'm Corey Quinn. In personal news, I shipped a thing. Deploybar.app is a free macOS menu bar app that monitors GitHub Actions and Vercel deployments and now GitLab. It auto-discovers your repos, it tells you when GitHub is having outages, which is always, and then my platypus roasts your commit messages with the intensity of a code reviewer who stopped being polite 3 startups ago. The entire business model is charging $4.99 a month to control the platypus's intensity or shut him up entirely. Yes, I'm aware of how the app is mean to you unless you pay me, probably sounds. Now, what did AWS get up to? CloudWatch now supports cross-region telemetry auditing and enablement. You can centralize that across every region. It sounds great until you remember that standard CloudWatch pricing applies, which means that your security team gets one button to turn on VPC flow logs everywhere, and your FinOps team gets one spreadsheet to cry into forever. Governance has never been easier or more expensive by accident. Introducing Amazon EC2 C8IN and C8IB instances. 2 more letters bolted onto the EC2 alphabet soup because apparently C8I wasn't cryptic enough. The N means network and the B means bandwidth for EBS, and together they mean your naming conventions document just got another footnote. 43% faster than C6IN, which is interesting because they didn't have a C7IN for whatever reason, probably Intel's busted-ass roadmap. Amazon Quick now supports multi-account sign-in within the same browser. Congratulations, you can now juggle 5 accounts in one browser instead of maintaining a Chrome profile graveyard like the rest of us have since 2012. Truly the cutting edge of 2010s era functionality. Bonus points are putting the account name in URLs, a feature my password manager has been begging for since the Obama administration. Amazon Workspaces Personal and Amazon Workspaces Core are now available in 2 additional AWS regions. Ohio getting Workspaces in 2026 feels like discovering your local diner finally serves breakfast. Malaysia, sure, that's a real expansion, but US East 2 somehow didn't have virtual desktops until now? The service launched in 2013. Someone at AWS just found a Jira ticket under a pile of reInvent swag. AWS announces general availability of AWS Interconnect Multicloud. What the shit is this pricing? I have to quote from you here. To determine your AWS Interconnect Multicloud pricing, identify your source regions where your VPC traffic originates and your interconnect's local AWS region. Find the highest tier pairing of source region to local region in the pricing tiers table below to identify your tier. Once you have your tier, look up the price by your interconnect's local region, tier, and bandwidth. You posted the LLM prompt instead of the output there, buddy. Automate cost reporting with scheduled dashboard email delivery. Automating the login, screenshot, paste into PowerPoint, email to CFO workflow is something. Of course, making it easier for executives to see the bill might actually generate more panic Slack messages than it prevents. Sometimes ignorance really was bliss. Password-protected PDFs feel very 2014. Absolutely nobody will read these after roughly the 3rd report in the cadence, and it suffers from the trying to get people to care about a problem before it becomes painful issue, but we'll see, I suppose. Introducing Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.7 model in Amazon Bedrock. It has a next-generation inference engine and 0 operator access, which is a fancy way of saying we pinky promise not to read your prompts. The benchmarks are impressive. Remember, nobody's production workload looks anything like a benchmark. Your invoice, however, will be very real. Introducing Amazon BioDiscovery. Pharma companies, much like some product managers, already spend more on drugs than small nations spend on everything. So naturally, AWS has built an agentic drug discovery platform with 40-plus AI models to help them spend even more, this time on cloud compute. Lab in the loop is a great phrase for a billing cycle that never ends. And finally, a series of 4 radically different CVEs. Kiro IDE WebView cross-site scripting via workspace color theme. Cool. Issues with Amazon Athena ODBC driver. Also, there are 6 CVEs in a single driver here, I want to point out here. Issues with AWS Research and Engineering Studio, or RES, that has 3 CVEs in it. And an out-of-bounds write in Firecracker VirtIO PCI transport. I get the sense this is all coming from Anthropic's nonsense, if I'm being direct. thanks to the miracle of their new Mythos model, which is so great that none of us are allowed to use it. And that's what happened last week in AWS. I'm Corey Quinn. Please stick around.